Hey guys, we're back with blue. We're just gonna go straight in because I want to get this over with and go back to bed. Reno Tada is a 0015 brainstorm, pay 1, tap 2, top 4 cards, every climax, search for a music character, add to hand. And then during your opponent's turn, front row center gets 1k.
I prefer this to the red one.
I only
Yeah,
prefer
I
this
think
because it's
this.
blue.
I think red is just
What?
such a bad color right now. My opinion on
I prefer it being blue because of the next card we're going to talk about. It's not
well,
some color war bias that's raging on in foreign right now.
something about green.
Look, blue
Zero
is
seventy
waifu.
eight, and here we go.
Blue is the waifu color. So this
Oh,
is
right.
Rin Shibuya. It's a 0/0. As a clone, you search discard a card when it comes to play. If you do, check top four, choose a blue character, add it to hand. This effect is still Cancer, but
It's less
um,
cancer than it could have been.
It's okay. It's only blue.
it's like saying, oh well, it's only a stage 1 melanoma. It could have been a stage 3 melanoma.
I mean,
You still have a melanoma.
we already have all the cancers in two love roosts.
Except
Yeah,
for
but
this
that
card effect.
No, it
Fortunately,
exists. It's just fortunately not in the
oh
rate.
yeah, it's not a relevant trait. Yeah,
Oh my
right.
goodness! If this effect existed in those traits, oh
Yeah,
dear God, please
God help us
save
all.
me.
It's not even that good into Palavru unless your opponent literally can't beat 4/5s, at which point you win the game anyway.
Ugh.
But yeah, this card is really good. Get 4 if you're going to play this set because blue is probably going to be the best simply due to this card. There's just not really that many big draws to any particular card in the set except for this one and I guess a few
I
others.
mean, yellow has like a very solid level one game, but blue has basically solid everything else, or level zero
Yeah.
game.
There's also that I really like the TD blue level 02, the other Rin.
Oh, the one that
Oh, yeah.
It's
filters and then
Sayamami, but
scries on death,
scries
Sayamami.
on
Yeah, it's
death.
the reverse Sayamami.
which is good.
Yes. Next,
I mean, probably not as good as Sayamami, but it's
I
fine.
like Scribe better on play because it lets you seed your first Sayamami effect.
Or you can filter first, then scry, and then you know what you're going to trigger.
Yes.
The
So
reverse also has potential as well, but yeah.
yeah, no, they're both good in their own ways. I think I
Mhm.
just like Sayamami better.
Yeah.
This is probably the best plussing combo in the set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is 1045 Minami Nita. People call her Walking Sex. I'm pretty sure it's because she just has really slutty character art in the game. I think that's the reason. Is there something else? No? Well, I'm just going to
Not.
move on then. So she's a 1045. When you play any climax whatsoever, she gets 1/5, so she becomes 6. And if everyone's leader, which is a pants, is in the climax zone, when it kills an opponent, then you look at the top 4 cards, choose one music character and add it to hand. The rest go to the waiting room, then you pick one character, and that character gains 2k for the turn. So you pick another one of your Minami Nisas, it goes to 7k, it goes to 9k after climax, and
Yeah.
gets to get the combo off again.
So it's the first attack is 7k. It's gonna be very comparable to basically Mekon in terms of like reversing potential, because it's also Mekon is
Well,
also 7k, except then you get to pay 9k first. And
no, because you pump her with Yami.
no, I mean like you will have 9k first, which is the thing, and this card has the greater potential to completely fucking
This one
fail.
goes 7k, 9k, 9k if all goes well, but if they counter your 7k, then you don't get a
Then
9k,
then it goes 7k, 7k, 9k.
If you do have
presumably.
the yellow 2K giver, they're all 9Ks.
I
I
guess.
suppose so, but I'm not. Like, I don't think a savvy opponent's ever going to let you get 3 reverses off with this ability.
This is true.
You're like, you only really need to focus on killing 1 or 2 at the most, which means this ability diminishes in value significantly as compared to Mekon or whatever. So that last effect is neat, I guess, but
Is it
That's
the
gonna keep the
reason,
power till
worthwhile?
end of opponent's turn, right?
yeah, that's the
No,
thing. It doesn't
it's only
keep
for the
that.
turn.
It's only for
I
the turn.
I
Yeah.
really don't like the fact that it's just a 4/5 afterwards.
Oh,
The real
then
power of the girlfriend beta one was because it was 6/5 till the end of the opponent's turn, plus like the 1k from all the 1 trillion different blue supports they have. So not only did he plus you by killing something and actually getting a raw plus, it plussed you because it probably didn't die. Whereas this is just going to die. This is comparable to like the Little Busters +2 Soul Climax combo, which gets you a level 2, except it's got more requirements. Sure, it mills you more, but it's also you can interfere with it, and it'll die on the next turn anyway. That's what I see this card as.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can't really compare it to the Little Busters one because that's a very different combo to anything in the game. But this card is still good. I just wouldn't go so far as to call it like.
I don't know what else you're running at level 1+ in combo.
I'm not saying that there are better options. I'm just saying that she's.
It's definitely not as good as Mikan Yami combo or Kokomi, but like
Yeah, it's
those aren't
fine.
fair comparisons, really.
It's not a 2/480 card. It shouldn't be a 2/480 card.
It's a 2/480 card.
It is a 2/480 card.
So the only reason
Jesus.
why is because it's double rare.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine.
Jesus.
But yeah, no, the fact that it's only 7k unsupported and it needs to reverse, like, sure, Kokomi is only 6'5 and she needs to reverse, but you don't need to reverse the plus with her. You can just
you
have
can just
sit
turn
there
her
as
into a wall. So
yeah, as a really fat character that cost you nothing and you got extra stock out of it. Whereas this card, you're playing a pants, so you're committing to plussing at least once. Otherwise, you don't even break even. I guess that's the same with Kokomi, but like I said, that's an investment that keeps her alive. Whereas this card, Minami Nita, she's gonna die.
Yeah. Now having the girlfriend's card as a stock soul is very big.
I do like the fact that you can pump up one of your other bigger blue cards and just make it too big for them to counter, rather than trying to combo over and over. Because you do break even once you get one of the combos off. And they probably do have a level 0 lying around that you can just bully. But other than that, this card is not a play 3 down, go mad plus engine like the LB card is. It's more like a Kankole or To Love Ru version where you only really plus once or twice at max against a savvy opponent.
And the problem with that is that the card selection is going to be worse as a result.
Yeah,
because
that's
of-
the other big deal. Yeah, you only look at 4. Sure, you get to like 99% of the time you will be getting a card. Chances are you don't get the card you want.
Moving on, it's a good card though. Like
Yeah, yeah, like, we
you're
spent all
probably
this
still
time
gonna
doing-
run it. Like we're just talking about
Yeah.
like what the serious drawbacks are because like this is a card that will be run.
We spent all this
lot.
time on it, but that just means it's a card worth discussing. It's actually a good card. I don't think it's 2/480 because that's just a ridiculous price for a
2/480
trading card.
is marginally cheaper than Yami. Is this card marginally worse than Yami?
This card is so much worse than Yami. It's actually not a comparison.
Next
It's
up,
actually more expensive than the police card too from the.
from
is it the
it's
Kokomi?
more expensive than Kokomi.
Yeah, I think so.
Is Kokomi a double rare though? I don't think she is.
Yes, it is.
She is.
Oh,
she's like
shit.
she's like 1,700 yen or something like that.
17. She's 1780, I think.
Are
Last
you
I checked.
kidding?
Look, Deramas is hype. The Ricky clone is 2/480. That one's kind of justified. But the fact that this stayed at 2/480 just means that it's like the only other double R that's super good.
Yeah. Next up
Speaking
is
of
this
speaking of
Ranko.
good double Rs, so this is the Chuni kid that everyone seems to like, Ranko Kanzaki. Her level 3 is a 3/2 heal, and when it attacks, if
book, I think.
Chuni name climax, that is a book, is in the climax, so I'm not reading that aloud. Then put the top 5 cards of your library in the waiting room, deal X damage to your opponent, where X is the number of climax you put in the waiting room that way, and this gains 2k power. So yeah, it's climax with a book. Climax combos in this set are just more consistent in general because of that climax swapper. So this card is pretty good, actually.
I like it. I feel like it's just a little bit unreliable.
It's not supposed to be reliable. It's supposed to... It's a finisher that sometimes doesn't finish, I guess.
And that's a problem, right? It's like
I think it's a problem.
when
but,
you paid for something, you expect to get what you paid for. You're not gonna be satisfied when it doesn't work.
Well, let's be
It
fair.
is free.
Yeah,
That's
say that we
three.
have like very few climaxes left in a fairly thick deck.
Okay,
You're
in
gonna
that case, this
appreciate
is
that. You're gonna
super
appreciate.
value. That mill 15 is gonna like maybe
Yeah,
win you
yeah.
the game.
You're going to appreciate that. And if you don't like, if you mill a bunch of climaxes, then well, you're milling five anyway, so you're getting to your next refresh really quickly.
As long as you don't like instantly die.
Yes, but assuming that you've got three of this on the field, which I assume is going to happen, and you played a climax, then you probably will mill yourself to very close to refresh, if not straight up refresh. But that's bad because you'd really rather have that climax in the deck.
Yeah.
You're very rarely going to shoot more than maybe two with this,
Two is
which
a
I think
two
is,
is a good number. Two is
yeah, I
like an
think that's really
80%
good.
chance to go in, and that's like a super solid number for dealing damage here.
I think two is the most likely outcome here, and that's why I think this card is good. One is also fine because it's a free ping, and like a card that did one on climax play or on attack was banned for quite some time. It's still banned in standard. So this card is it's fine. I think it's maybe the best level 3 in the set. It's a good climax as well.
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, it's close to being the best
Um,
level 3 in the set.
its only competition is the very next card, but while we're still on this card, it also heals, so
Healing is good.
it's not like it's a bad card even if you don't get the climax.
Yeah, yeah.
Next up, that level 3.
Token Russian, Anastasia. The flavor is a bunch of Russian, which Heart of the Cards has actually gone out of their way to write on here.
Wow.
So if you've got three or more other blue characters, it gets 1k power, whatever. And if this is not a combo that needs a climax, but it is an ability that's relatively immune to anti-damage and the like. 2 cost, discard a card from hand, and then sack another character from stage. This ability activates up to once a turn. During the turn, this is placed from hand to stage. When the battle opponent of this is reversed, you may pay cost. If you do, choose one Minami, my first star, in your waiting room and put it in any slot on stage. So Minami is a 1/0 5k that gains 500 for every music character on stage when she's put onto stage.
This card is going to be very heavily compared to the Ilya version, which is tied to a combo.
Is it?
I think so.
All
I
right.
prefer the Ilya one though because it heals a second. Like the Ilya one heals when it does the change, and I'd rather have a second 2-soul beater, well 3-soul because it's on a climax combo, than another 1-soul beater.
Well, yeah, but this one doesn't need a climax combo. That's the beauty of it.
The beauty is that it doesn't need a climax combo. You're sacking something that probably died anyways, and
Yeah. I think
the needing to reverse is actually a little bit of an issue.
Yeah.
In
I guess that's fair.
today's metagame, the needing to reverse is what puts this below the Ronco for me.
But keep in mind that if your opponent fields anything smaller than a level 3, you can just use that and run in characters to the other bigger level 3s because you're going to replace them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
think this card is serviceable. I would probably play Runko because she's got a much higher ceiling.
Yeah, and if you need to play a 2-soul, you can just play a 2-soul with this card.
YOLO.
It's true. You can play a second. You can play a second Anastasia and then have five attacks.
Yeah, yeah.
There are a
It's
couple of
just,
situations where the card is like super valuable, but I think I prefer the Ronco. But on a
Yeah.
plus note, like you're not like limited to playing one or the other because like the other one still heals, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So
Me too.
next up,
Right. Next card is Anastasia, my first star, global 500, and this activates up to once a turn. When you use startup, you choose a character. That character gains 500 for the turn. I just noticed she's star trait.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why?
I think that's unique to this card because of the asterisk.
Yeah, but
No,
why?
all of her cards are star.
All of her cards
yeah,
are
yeah,
star?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was an asterisk card before who didn't have star trait. It's
Okay,
just
well, I don't understand Cinderella girls and how they determine things.
whatever. It's edgy, like the hip kids of today like to say. This is a fine card. I don't know if it's really great, It's just a global support, really. That makes your counters a little better, but there's very few things you need to counter at all.
Oops. I actually skipped too far forward. Yep, there it is.
Mm.
Yep, there it is. Okay,
So yeah, card is alright.
83. 83 now.
I would probably, yeah, I'd probably play the global support.
This is
because you-
the same effect as like the Miku card, right?
So 1-0 global 500.
No, the 0-0 that we just went over. It's like the Miku,
Oh yeah,
right?
it is. It is almost exactly like the Mickey one, I
Yeah,
believe.
it was pretty good Miku, so it's like fine here.
It's fine.
Yep. Next up is the card that I was like hovering over for a really long time because I wasn't paying attention.
That card is the one that combos with the stock soul. Look, it's a global 500, which is nice enough. And then look it up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, put them back in any order when the climax is played.
Yeah, this is supposed to be with the level 3 red card to make sure you mill one of each. But
Yeah.
you can only do it on the first attack. So
Yeah.
if you ever field more than one, you're back to doing it blind.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's the combo's still not going to be super reliable.
Yep.
Next.
So this next card is actually really interesting. I think it's very good design. It's Rin, my first star, 105k. When the battle opponent of this reversed, if take a step forward, which is a 2k1 soul, is in the climax zone, this gets 1 level and 5,500 power
Hello, Soundless Voice.
What?
until the end of your opponent's next turn.
It's functionally like Soundless Voice,
No, it's not.
except you need to kill something. Which
Yeah,
is
you
a,
need to kill something.
Soundless Voice is like 10-5 to begin with.
it's 10-5 base, 11-5 because it's changes on the combo. So like you'll kill a thing and then you'll kill another thing because that's how Soundless Voice rolls. This needs to kill a thing the first time, but with the yellow back row you can get it to 9k on the offense, which is probably enough to reliably at least kill one slot. My concern is when you're trying to get more than one reverse with this card, which is why I don't think it's great. Because it doesn't actually wall that efficiently if you can't wall every slot.
Well, it does plus you because nothing's getting over a level 2 10-5.
The problem is, I guess if you play Clannad, they have a cost 0 reverser.
Oh, Zero Note's Kaima does that too.
And, you know, never mind those cost 1 reversers we already went over.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there are still issues with it, but, like, none of the issues
Bounce
are,
trigger. Bounce
Bounce-
trigger is an
Bounce
actual issue.
trigger.
like... Bounce Trigger is a real issue.
Because you don't actually get any tangible value aside from this card is probably going to stay on the stage for the rest of
The turn.
your turn. So if you bounce it, then they get their attack in, and they don't, like... The point is you can't side this without losing damage because it's level 2.
Unless you play plus 2 soul, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. So yeah, it's weak to bounce, it's weak to cost bombs, but otherwise, I think it's a very high ceiling.
Yeah, I just don't think you're going to be able to get more than one reverse with this very reliably because it's with a 2k1 combo. But 2k1
but
does
say
mean
you
that you're
kill
guaranteed.
level 0 and 2k1 so something else.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely
think
better if you
that
hit
is,
level 1
yeah.
first by a lot.
Mm-hmm. Because it gives you a free turn of attacks, basically.
Yep. Next up is another Ronko. I think that's her name.
So this
This
is
is one of
the
those changers.
yeah, it's actually like the Urza change. So when this is placed from waiting room to stage, if you have 2 or more other music characters, it gets 2/5 power for the turn. You can put this in the waiting room at the beginning of your opponent's draw phase to put a Franco Pure White Angel in and put it in the slot this was in. That card is a 105k.
Yeah, it's just a climax phase change into the previous card. It's whatever. I believe the draw phase change gives the white version another 1500 power.
2,500.
2,500 power, so it's 6/5 on offense, 7/5 on defense, theoretically, if you manage to keep changing over and over and over.
Yeah.
Theoretically, but extremely
Theoretically.
bombable.
Yeah, it's just extremely bombable.
Yeah, what Urza did was she gave the one on defense Encore,
And Encore, yeah.
which was actually pretty decent for what it was. Whereas this one's just straight up power. It can be bombed. and it's not actually super massive. Like 7.5 is pretty big, but I think that if you're going to run counters as a plan in any level 1 strategy with Cinderella Girls, this might be the one.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a combo that's interesting and has potential, but needs some setup and can fall apart.
I don't know if I want to commit 6+ slots to this though.
Yeah, I guess it's based on the love of the character, and she's a very popular character. I would rather play Rin instead of her, and I'd also rather play the 1-0 what Minami. Sorry. Yeah, I'd rather play that instead.
Yep.
But this card is serviceable.
Next up,
So this is the card you summon with level 3 Anastasia, 105k. Gets 500 power for each of your music characters.
when it comes into play, right?
Or when it is pulled by Anastasia.
Yes.
Right.
Acceptable. I mean,
It's fine.
you'd really only, I don't think, run this if you're running the Anastasia.
Yeah, and it's not quite its MS predecessor.
It's not
which
as
is-
good as a standalone card, so you basically need to run the Anastasia to like justify what like this card going into your deck, especially at like rarity,
Mm.
because that's going to slightly increase the cost. But if you have money,
Yeah,
just
no.
throw it at your screen, and maybe you'll get cards anyways.
That's
Next, it's a 1/1 counter that
This is the Shizuku counter, so you Shizuru counter, sorry. So when you use the backup, look at the top card of your library, put it either on top or on the bottom.
good counter.
This is one of the best counters in the game. People whine about it not being 2k, but it's a free scry, which is super powerful.
Dude, it's check and wreck.
Don't ever say that in my presence.
Scrying is super good. It's gonna be it's very similar to like the Leafa counter in that like it just
It is.
digs you one
it is similar
deeper.
to Leaf counter. This actually,
Yeah.
this was here before the Leaf counter.
Yeah.
It was in rewrite long
Yeah.
before.
Long before
The
Sword
first
Art.
instance. It wasn't Sword Art. Wasn't the first. It was Miku. I think had the first one.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
I don't know. Card is still good. If you're
It's
not
really-
running 1/0 counters,
Mm-hmm.
the 1/0 2K counter, then I think this is like already better than the other 1/1 counter, which is a vanilla counter. So like, you have your options.
Yeah,
I like this effect a lot. It's very good.
it is just very strong.
Next up is another 3/2.
Okay, so Kaede Takegaki, she's a mysterious trait, 3/2, 10k. If she's in the front row center slot and you have a full field, she's a 14k.
Beautiful.
So she gets 1k for each of your other music characters.
Well, did I say-
Always. And during your opponent's turn, when you take any damage, if this is in the front row, look at the top card of your deck, and you can either put it on top or in the waiting room. If you say it again, I will kill you.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, so it's when you take damage, you get the scry.
Yep.
New
Yeah.
effect. New effect.
Yeah, this is a new effect that I like very a lot. They also even revealed it in Charlotte, so it's probably going to
Yeah.
be a mainstay.
It looks like it's one of the new things they're pushing for blue, besides just minus soul, as like a unique blue mechanic.
I like it a lot.
It's actually not in blue in Charlotte.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
yellow.
it's
It's in
not.
yellow.
It's in yellow in Char-
yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember now. I don't like that.
It's a yellow
card.
3/2 that changes to the red.
I'd
Yeah.
probably just run the red card and not run anti-burn in Charlotte at this point. But
I'll
like,
be honest, I didn't actually read the 3/2 Yusa. I didn't
Yusa.
read the 3/2 Yusa after I saw that it didn't do anything.
I think this card is fine. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if I'd personally run it unless you're playing some sort of really troll deck where you want to make
Mm-hmm.
the games last really long because you're looking at the top card of your deck every fucking attack.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's,
It's
like,
like-
top. It's like
yeah, you
playing
could- you
top
could do turbo
in,
top.
in Weiss.
Yeah, you could do turbo top, but
Oh my goodness.
God.
It's like playing top in Weiss.
I think this card's very. I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Like it's big at least. It's 14k, so that's cool.
Yeah, and you only need one of this on stage, which is
How do you turbo top if you don't have like 3 of them though?
well, there's other cards that check top as well in this set, so there's that as well.
Gotta keep topping. Gotta pretend you're guilty, Crown.
Yeah, you can just like in conjunction with like the check top counter, you can just like check like 3 cards before you even take an attack. So it's good.
Yep. Next up is a 0/0 plus 1500 if it's by herself. Oh no, 6
No,
or more
no.
cards in hand.
No. Wait, what?
Yeah.
90. 6 or more cards in hand.
90 or eh, eh, are we on 88 or 90? Oh,
No, we're on 90.
freaking heart of the cards is screwed up somehow.
Yeah, it's 6 or more cards in hand plus 1500 power, so it's one of the early play cards.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
it's
4K.
okay.
It's
This
whatever.
this trip sucks because it means you can't play other things out.
Yep. Next.
It's in Persona. I specifically avoid it. It's not good.
Not when you have good level 0 yellow cards that like are amazing.
More or less.
Next up is pay 1, rest this, do a thing.
So it's Komei Shirasaka,
Oh my
pay
God,
1
this
rest this, search your library for up to 1 Komei Shirasaka, and put it on any slot on stage.
Woo!
At
Don't
the end
die.
of the turn, that card dies.
Woo! It's like we're playing Splinter Twin.
Yeah, exactly. She's a Splinter Twin, except she doesn't untap herself, so she can't redo it. It's exactly what she is.
It's okay.
Sends out one of her clones. She's fucking Naruto.
Yeah.
Next up is another Anastasia, I believe.
Yep, Anastasia, everyone camping together.
Dear God,
If your
they
opponent
keep...
has 4 or more characters, it gets... Oh my god, there's another one. Your opponent has 4, your opponent has 4 or more characters, it gets 1k, so it becomes 7k. And it's got Clock on Claw.
So there's another one. I think we've
Yeah,
already
it's a
talked about this
7K
profile like
clock on
the
claw.
3rd time now.
Third 7k Clock on Claw.
Oh, God.
This one's worse than the
Than the red
one, and probably better than the yellow one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already moved on because we've talked about that profile 3 times now. 2 times now. Next up is a 2-1 off to a okay start because it's not...
Karen Hojo, it's a 3-5. Yeah, it's not a front row 2-1.
It's not
which is-
7k, so we're off to a good start.
So when the battle opponent of this is level 3 or higher, no, I'm just kidding. All of your other music characters gain 1k, and sack this to save a character.
I like that effect better on 0/0s.
I like that effect
Yeah,
better on
this
things
is
that I
a one
don't
stock
that don't do
investment.
other things while they're on the field.
I also like not having to pay a stock to do that effect.
You
Yeah.
don't- Oh yeah, you have to pay. You pay the stock for the 1k global, but I don't like the fact you
Yes.
like it. It's sure it's better than a vanilla 1k global, but vanilla 1k globals almost never exist these days.
Yeah.
So
I
I
don't-
would much rather have something else
I
than
don't
that.
think I run this.
Yeah, probably not. Just doesn't seem good.
We already went over the New Generations card.
Yes, Rina, our lyrics. If you've got 2 more, yeah. This is the one we talked about earlier, I think.
Yeah, the
Wait.
minus
Yeah.
the minus level if you have.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Next card is Love Leica. I think they misspelled Love Live there.
Yes, they definitely misspelled Love Live.
Every time I read that fucking name.
When this attacks, if Memories is in the climax zone, so Memories is a climax, I think it's the stock soul? Yeah. You may pay cost. If you do, when this gains 2k and the ability to heal 1 when you kill your battle opponent.
Woo! Heal
Yo.
with
The cost is to sack a character from stage. That's not a light cost.
It's a pretty steep
means-
cost to heal 1.
The real cost is you can't spam this and get 3 heals in 1 turn, because you have to just keep sacking characters, which, okay, sure, you can spam this and get 3 heals in a turn, but you're going to come out pretty much worse off.
Yeah, I don't think
You're
it's.
going to end up sacking one of your Minamis, which is just not good.
I don't think it's worth it. Like heal looping is also like traditionally less effective these days than before when you just instantly freaking die.
Yeah, this card is okay. You start healing at level 2, I guess, but there's not exactly a heal loop theme in this set, unless you count having the 3-1 counter, which I don't personally. But it's fine.
Next,
Now, Kamiya, she's a
Dear God.
227k, gains 500 per every music character, so it's a 9k, and it has Hand Encore.
okay, bad card.
It's just a vanilla with Encore. It's
Right.
they're slowly power creeping it, but they're power creeping in parts where you don't really care because no one plays vanillas anyway.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bad card.
Love. So next card, Love Live Anastasia.
Does she bond to
Uh,
the 2/1?
yeah, she bonds to the
Yes.
2/1. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can drop a climax if you have three or more other music characters. If you do, you may search your library for one of the stock soul and add it to your hand. So I have to reiterate, you need three or more other music characters before you can even pay the cost. Which is fine, I guess.
I mean, if you want to heal loop, here's your way of doing it.
I guess.
It's fine. The fact you're pulling a climax out of your deck should really not be underestimated. That's one less climax you get to cancel with.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, dude, I
Especially
doesn't care.
the timing that you want to use it in, which is at 2.
Yep. You don't want to just instantly die.
Although
Yeah.
you should keep in mind that blue is going to have a Ursa clone, so
You are
you'll
going to be milling
probably
pretty quickly. If
yeah,
you...
you've probably already refreshed by the time you've gotten to level 2.
That's true.
I still wouldn't run
Um,
the combo, so...
Yeah, not me personally. I would consider it, but I've got better climaxes to run.
We got some banned people now.
Chie Sasaki, during your opponent's turn, this gets 2k, so it becomes a 4k. Otherwise, it's a 2k on your turn.
It's
Your one.
whatever.
Cool.
Haruna Kamijo.
Kamijo Toma?
I wish. When this comes from hand to stage, choose another character. That character gets 1k in glasses. Very
Whatever, I guess.
it's
Yo.
fine. It helps with
I mean,
Mina
hey man,
reversing
this is
crap and
this is a $40 promo in Tulover.
technically no. The $40 promo into Loveru, you choose any character, so it can be a 3/5, whereas this character can only choose others.
Oh man.
Oh.
That's a relevant difference because that Mikan is often just played as a 3/5.
Yeah, this is true. But
So
yeah.
this card is good because it can make your Minami knitters a lot bigger, and it can make your Rins a lot bigger, and it can make anything that needs to reverse bigger. 1/5 is not an insubstantial amount.
But man, that
So I-
glasses trait though.
This card is slightly better than I think people are going to give it credit for, but I still don't think it's more powerful than a common, which raises another question of why is that promo from Tularu so expensive?
Yep. Next.
Aki Yamato, it's a 2/5. If you've got one or few other characters, gets 1k and Encore. You know, this used to be a rare ability. Like, only rare cards used to have this.
Devil Survivor.
Devil Survivor's version was common.
Was it common? Well, it was an
Yeah.
EB.
Yeah, both
That was very long ago that this was at rare.
Yeah.
yes, like Angel Beats Times or something.
Yeah.
Again, I think-
Producer,
Yeah, you have just better beaters at level 0, so...
yeah, pretty much.
Peace on.
So, producer, one cost discard a climax. When it's placed from stage to waiting room, you may pay cost. If you do, salvage a climax. So
Oh
this
man.
is almost like the climax salvager, but it's better because it's the producer and he's a bro.
Yes.
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 Um,
Next.
More or less, yeah. Ranko, something something awakening, something something demon king. When this is reversed in battle, goes to the bottom of the library.
That's a
Whatever.
downside?
It is because it becomes taken as damage at one point.
Maybe. Unlikely. 104.
Rina, Rockish Idol, 3/5. Come and play. Check top card. If it's not a music character, clock it. Yawn.
Next.
Vanilla.
Next.
Uh,
Damn. Like,
Oh,
mill
Milk Counter.
character.
Sure.
oh, milk counters are good.
It's fine. I still don't. Well, I like the fact that it's a mandatory mill, but I don't like it when I'm playing with it because sometimes I just want the counter.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. And then you mill 3 climaxes, then you just start crying. Next.
So
We got 2 events.
2-1, 2-1, 2 event. Draw up to two. I can't see the card art, but based on the name and the flavor text, I'm assuming that it's her. Draw up to two cards, discard a card, and then choose a blue character. It gets 3,000 for the turn. See, if this was a 1/1 event, it would actually be quite good because that's a lot of power.
But except that
It's a
that would
2/1.
be horribly like undercosted for a 1/1 event.
I think so as well. The fact you get to draw up to two cards and discard one means you can draw into your climaxes if you still don't have it. That's relevant for the 2/2 girls level 3. It's relevant for the 1/0 if you're still on that plan. So yeah, I think this card is better than it looks, but still not worth more than one on deck slot.
Yeah. I think you probably still want to run one just because it does give you the extra opportunity to draw climaxes if you still haven't gotten them with Pisan and Yellow Lady.
It's just a good card. Just is it better than everything else you can run? That's the
Nope. And the last card of the set.
unfitting pair.
Ugh.
If you've got two or more red characters and two or more blue characters, so it's an and, you need 2 red, 2 blue at the minimum. Anti-damage.
Anti-damage, dude.
Yeah, this would be way better if red was better.
This would be way better, even if it just cost one more stock and didn't have that. Like, it was literally just tarot reading.
This is just an argument to run the red Brainstormer. That's what this card is.
This is an argument to have 2 red Brainstormers in your back row forever.
Ew. That sounds awful. Why would you ever want that?
Because that's the only way you're going to want to play this card.
But this
sure there
card
are
does
other
have
red cards.
some
Could be
potential.
running the Unzu.
Except the critical problem that you run into for anti-damage right now is that, like, the most terrifying finisher in the format is...
Is completely immune to it, yes. Isn't that great?
Why?
Unfortunately, this is also like one of the, I think, better anti-damage because it denies them a stock as well.
It denies them the stock, which is huge. It also, like, denies them on attack effects because you rest them.
Yeah,
I'd like to point out that this ability is overrated by everyone who hasn't played with it, and also underrated by everyone who doesn't know how good Weiss cards are in general.
It's definitely a good card, though. Like, I think tarot reading is better. I'd rather pay the extra stock and not have this.
Tarot reading is not pay extra stock. It's your opponent gets to bounce a character. Jack Brothers.
Oh,
is
it's
paying
Jack
extra
Brothers. That's right.
stock. Persona has 2 tap counters.
Jack Brothers is pretty funny.
I play tarot reading in every single deck I run that in because I have almost no costed characters my opponent ever wants to bounce.
Yeah, Vens is fine. I would... This is the only reason why you would run red-blue, I think, though. I don't see a
Yes.
compelling enough reason to run red without this event.
Keep in mind that your opponent can just attack one card into empty. If you have empty, attack the card they want to get through most first, or side attack with a card, and
they'll
then
have to
attack
take
with
it
their
anyways.
last card, and your anti-damage counter is now worthless. It's very easy to play around this card if you know it exists. You just have to know it exists. That's the skill that comes. Knowledge is the skill that
Yeah.
you need to fight this card.
it's like in every card games, knowledge is power.
Knowledge is
Exactly.
power.
G.I. Joe. Well, that is the set review.
All right.
Like, knowledge is half the battle. Never mind. That is the set review. I guess we'll be back with the recap video now.
I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, we're splitting up now, aren't we? Sure. So let's do that.